Sarah Silverman, welcome to Chicago.
Thank you.
It's so awesome to talk to you about this movie, I Smile Back. So, first of all, this is very different from I think what people are used to seeing you as, being funny and a comedian. This is probably a more depressing role. I mean, how else would you explain it, right?
I would say it was probably a more depressing role
than what people are used to seeing you as. How did you prepare for something like this? And I know, too, you just opened up recently in Glamour magazine about your own issues, kind of dealing with similar stuff. I mean, how did you prepare? Did you use some of that from your past?
I did. You know, I've had my own relationship with depression over the years since I was a young pre-teenager and throughout my life, and you know, they share kind of the same bones as Lainey has. Like she's more severe and you know, to a different extent, and there are different circumstances around it. But I was able to use myself as a resource to a degree, and people around me, and in terms of addiction, you know, as a comedian, there's addiction all around me. So I had some really close friends who were so open with me about addiction and the triggers and the bugs in your ear and the process of detox and rehab, and that was really helpful. And the script was such a great adaptation from the book by Amy Koppelman, and so I had a lot, and then I pretended it like it was real.
Was there one scene that you were just like the hardest, or that was one that you were not looking forward to filming going into it? There were a bunch for me that I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, there were some major scenes.
Yeah.
That I know, like the teddy bear scene and stuff.
Yes.
But some of it was really exciting. It was exhilarating.
Okay.
It was like the you know, they were big moments, and those are fun to play, you know, and then there were things, you know, like that. One of the last scenes were just really hard technically and emotionally, but yeah, I don't know. It was kind of I tried to be as in the moment as I could, which is kind of a juxtaposition with the character, because she is so living in the future. You know, they say if you live in the past, it's depression. If you live in the future, it's anxiety, and that's why ideally you have to be in the moment if you're the most perfect person in the world, which none of us are. But she just really lives in that future of anxiety, of what if, you know, the horror stories that we all tell ourselves. But she totally exists in that. What if I ruin my kids? What if I, you know, and all the fears that she has that are kind of informed by her past. And there isn't much room for anything else when you live there in that space. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it is kind of, there are parallels with my comedy in terms of, like, in my last special, I talked about, you know, when people are self-deprecating and self-loathing, they might mistake that for modesty, and it's not. It's self-obsession. Okay. You know, there's no room for anything else. Mother Teresa didn't sit around complaining that her inner thighs touched. She had stuff to do.
Right.
And I think Lainey is a sympathetic, you know, it's subjective. You may walk away feeling very sympathetic towards her, or empathetic, but you also might have total disdain for this person who is actually really self-involved, you know, unable to see beyond her own terror.
So how did you playing this role? Would you go home at night? Were you able to step away from it? Would you just have, I don't know, a beer on the couch, or how do you separate yourself?
I tried. It was really hard. You know, because I don't have easy access to my emotions. Yeah. So digging them out of their very tightly packed compartments within me, they just kind of stayed on my lap, and it was hard. I would wash my face and just try to find a Law and Order, which is it helps me zone out to the mellow tones of softcore murder.
SVU or something.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my personal favorite.
Yes.
So do you see yourself doing more of this type of work, or obviously your comedy still, or what's more difficult, I guess?
I don't know. I like it all. I like doing all sorts of things. This was, you know, an opportunity I was no dummy to ignore, you know. It was something really different, and it's so rare for someone to see you as something that you haven't already been before, you know. It's odd that in this creative world, a lot of people don't have the ability to imagine you as something you haven't already done, and Amy Koppelman saw that, and so I, you know, I grabbed at the chance, you know, jumped at the chance. That's the phrase.
I know what you mean.
Thank
So
you.
the last thing I just want to mention, so it's not all we're talking all about depression and everything, but Halloween's coming up. Do you like Halloween? Are you a Halloween person? Do you have a favorite candy?
I'm not a big Halloween person.
Okay.
I used to be, I think, but I think I like staying home now. I do like the Halloween candy.
What's your favorite? Do you have a
I'm
favorite?
a big fan of bite-sized versions of things like Twix,
Yes.
Snickers, Milky Way, and so on and so forth.
We have so many.
The
in the
apple
office.
is obviously bullshit.
You don't like the taffy apples?
Oh, a taffy apple? Yeah, okay, but like when people give out apples.
Oh,
it's-
regular apples, yeah.
It's not cool.
Oh, that's horrible, right? That's the worst. I know.
Yeah, Halloween. I like creative costumes. I had a boyfriend once who went as Darth Vader going as a hobo. So he was like full Darth Vader, and then like the stick with the bandana filled with stuff, and the straw hat, and the corncob pipe.
That's very clever. Okay.
Chicago born, Tom Giannis.
Oh, very nice. Cool. Are you gonna dress up in this year? Not so much.
I don't see it happening. I
okay.
usually just hibernate.
I'm not a huge Halloween person either, so I'm with you on that one. Well, great to see you, Sarah, and thank you so much. Looking forward to everybody
you.
seeing this. Go check it out. It's good. Thanks.